Hey, what's going on, everyone? It is B. Avery here for another episode of Just My Opinion. Thank you so much for tuning in. I really do appreciate it. And with this one right here, we are talking Venom 2 or Venom. Let There Be Carnage. Full spoilers, movie review breakdown. Yes, I did say spoilers. You saw it in the thumbnail, you saw it in the title, you see it at the bottom, you hear me singing right now. I'm going to spoil this movie up, down, left, right, in, and out. Is if you've already seen it, you have been warned. If you haven't, just subscribe to my channel, put this video in your watch later list, go watch the movie, come back so you can get all of this spoilery goodness right here. But you know how I do my spoilery reviews. You know, I always can't do them by myself, and every time I do these, I always bring in a different guest, and this one is a different one from last time, and I'm super duper excited introducing him right now. Y'all know him as the king of anime, Mr. One Take Big Dog. How you doing, my brother? How you doing?
Man, I'm feeling really good right now. I'm excited. Yeah, I'm
That's what's
excited.
up. That's what's up. Well, I'm excited too, my brother. And again, thank you so much for being here. I really do appreciate it. I know you're ready to get into these Venom spoilers.
Yes, I am. I am.
Already. And guys, if you're watching this video right now, go ahead and give us a thumbs up. Let us know in the comment section what you thought about this movie too. And spoiler away, this is a full spoilery discussion. But also, before we get started, go ahead and follow me and One Take Big Dog on social media, especially Instagram. Our handles are on the screen right here. You can also find One Takes Big Dog's information down in the description box of this video. And like always, he is on my channel tab, second row right there, right next to Eman's movie reviews. And so go subscribe to his channel and show this brother some love. And so let's go ahead and get into this, man. As far as the first Venom is concerned, I had super duper low expectations for that film. I dang near you could probably dang near say I was about to like hate watch it. I just wanted it to fail. Excuse me. I was like, Sony sucks. They don't know what they're doing as far as Spider-Man is concerned. You know, how can you have a Venom movie without Spider-Man? This is stupid, blah, 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 blah. And surprisingly, I end up liking the movie. You know, I didn't love it, but I actually walked out. I was like, you know, it was not that bad. They actually pulled it off without Spider-Man. I was entertained. I didn't love it. It wasn't trash, but you know, hey, I'll go. Y'all did a good job. I'll get credit where credit is due. But that end credit scene with Woody Harrelson with that fake wig, the red one, I don't know if you remember, it looked horrible. I thought the performance was horrible. Again, these emotions was coming to me saying that, you know, they're just desperate and they don't know what they're doing. And so my general impressions of Venom, Let There Be Carnage, and again, my expectations were low for this movie as well. It was cool. I didn't hate it. I didn't think it was horrible. I didn't think it was trash. A lot of the reviews are mixed right now, but I walked away saying, okay, it wasn't that bad. I did not love this movie at all, and it definitely does have its problems. However, they did have a few sprinkles of goodness to where I maybe laughed or chuckled here and there and kind of appreciated what they was doing with Carnage, and we'll talk about that in a second. But I will say that I did enjoy the first film better than this one. One of the reasons why is I actually cared about the characters in that film much more than I did about this film. One of the characters that I did like in the first movie that I did not like in this movie right here was Michelle Williams, who was playing Eddie Brock's ex. She was cool in the first movie, but right here, I just kind of thought she was despicable, kind of annoying. And I'll get to my details in the second, but I did like this film, but I like the first one. I like the first one a bit more than this one. But again, those my expectations were low, and you know, I'll save this, you know, all the nitty gritty in a second. But go ahead and let me know what were your expectations going into this, and what were your general impressions of the film.
Okay, I'm gonna go back and talk about how the first one was because I enjoyed the first one too, but I think I'm kind of like you. Like I didn't have like high expectations or anything, and then when I was watching, I was just kind of like, okay, this is just like crazy, and I'm like, the tone was really was like all over the place. You never knew exactly what kind of movie it was. It was like sometimes it was serious, sometimes it was like straight comedy, and you had the action, which I didn't really like the action in the first one, you know, because I feel like it was too many things going on at once. So going into this one, I'm just like, okay, from the trailers, I could tell I'm like they going to lean into the relationship of like Eddie and Venom quite much, like a bit. And that was one of the strong parts about the first one. So I'm like, okay. But then I'm like, you have Carnage, which we know is like, big bad, one of the Spider-Man big bads. But I'm thinking about Carnage and like he's kind of like he's just a red version of Riot. So I'm like, I wonder how the action is gonna be. So I'm
Right.
kind of skeptical on a few things. But after watching the film and seeing it, I like exactly what they did. I feel like this movie is broke down in like three halves. You have the opening, which is like the buddy cop movie. I mean, with like the buddy movie with Eddie and Venom, and that continues obviously throughout the entire film. But that's like what the main focus is. The middle when we get introduced to Carnage, and then the ending where you obviously have like a big good guy versus bad guy thing. And I think all three parts of this worked for me. I
Nice.
by no means am I saying like, oh, this was like a great movie, because like this movie zooms past some stuff completely, and like I completely understand it, because like they wanted to like get straight to the point. But still, as a just like a film lover, you want certain things to be like expanded upon, or like how did this person get to this point, and so on and so forth. But overall, just from a pure enjoyment factor, I had a blast, and I laughed a lot. I thought the action was much cleaner than the first one. I like Carnage a ton. Michelle Williams, like I character really wasn't necessarily needed in this, but you just kind of you want something where both characters are latched on to. But I did also like how Venom and Eddie both like felt for her. I mean, the stuff they had going with that. So man, I'm not gonna lie, I had a complete blast with this movie and enjoy. And I think
Okay.
it's like one of those things, feels like it got good rewatchability. I mean, like, so I think this film, I think a few people want to see this film multiple times this weekend. Also, that's with like the short runtime, it's playing every 20 minutes. Like I like
Yeah.
the theater I went to, it's literally playing every 20 minutes. Like it's
Yeah.
crazy.
It's only an hour and 30 minutes. So that's what's up right there. So which one did you like more? First or the second film?
I'm gonna go second.
Second film. Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Now for me, I will go ahead and just say, just starting off in the beginning of this film, I really did enjoy it. When the film started off, I was like, this is a really solid start right here. I like the way they are popping this off right here. Just kind of focusing on Cletus Cassidy, Woody Harrelson. He came off much better on screen this time around. Excuse me,
Yes.
opposed to the first one when he was just like, doing all this camera looking corny. I just really wasn't feeling that. However, one of the things I did like is they were answering questions as far as the plot and the story is concerned as soon as I started thinking about them, because we got an introduction to him. I was kind of weirded out by I forgot her name. Naomi Harris is playing the character right here.
Freak.
A Shriek. Okay, yeah,
Yeah.
we'll talk about her in just a second. So we were just kind of just getting like the little origin between them and how that kind of got started off, and then like the next scene, they're trying to talk to Cletus, and he's like, I want to talk to Eddie Brock, because I was just saying to myself, okay, how are they going to combine these characters? I know they kind of briefly met up at the end of the first one, but will it make sense? And so he's a reporter. He wants to put his story out there. He knows that he can get something out of this. And so he's going to call for a meeting. I was saying, okay, I like how the plot is flowing here. This makes perfect sense. And I even liked it when Brock showed up at the jail. He was like, why me? Why do you want me? What am I doing here? All these questions right here make sense. They make logical sense. And it's tying the characters and the story together and just giving you a reason why they're having a dialogue, and that just makes sense. It's simple, but I'm like, hey, I'm along for the ride right here. And so I did appreciate that. I don't know if you have any comments or as that's I can't talk as far as that's concerned, but I really did enjoy the intro of this movie, and I would just saying to myself, man, hey, if they kind of keep this tone throughout the entire duration, this is gonna be fantastic, and I'm gonna be surprised. So that's how I felt early on.
I did like the beginning of the film. I was not expecting them to keep that tone, because just once again the trailers. But I also wasn't expecting us to get so much detail on Cletus Cassidy. I didn't think we was gonna get all the stuff that we got, and like his relationship with Shriek. I thought that was just stuff. I thought she was gonna be in the movie, but I didn't think she was actually gonna play like a pivotal role in it. But like as
Right.
we saw in the beginning, like that's pretty much like what sent him down his path. That was his one bright light, you know. So I'm just
Right.
like, okay, that was interesting part to put in there. I thought he was just gonna be somebody who kills just because.
Now let's go ahead and talk about her real quick. Now I like her as an actress. I mean, she's not just some A-list, Oscar winner, but I like her. However, I thought that she was miscast in this movie 1000%. I did not like her character, her role at all. It was horrible. It was corny. She just did not fit in that role at all whatsoever. I didn't like anything about it. Nothing about it. I'm like, Naomi, why did you accept this role? Even though she's not bigger than this, I was saying to myself, you bigger than this. I didn't like anything. I didn't hate the character. But I did not like an ounce about it. I am completely indifferent, and I was just like, I was rolling my eyes when she popped up. It was the screaming, everything was annoying. And we've seen those powers before, but it just didn't work for me. It just didn't. That just looks bad right there. It just doesn't work. I mean, I don't know how you go. You agree or disagree?
I think I'm kind of in the middle because I see what you're saying, but I didn't get to that point to where I feel like a character like kind of switched like drastically, because when she was like in like the glass, she was kind of like chill. Of course, she was like angry and everything, but to me, it's when she got out and when she reunited with Cassidy, and like she put the black lipstick on, and like it's like she changed and she just started talking a different way, walking a different way. I'm just like, I felt like she was trying too hard to be bad. You know, that's the part that just came out kind of corny and just weird to me.
I got you. Now something that I also did kind of like early on was the relationship between Venom and Brock. I liked them conversing back and forth. It was kind of cool. It was kind of funny. And I liked them the most when Brock is, like the head symbiote of Venom pops out and the head is just floating around. I like that. I liked that early on too, their banter back and forth. I like that more than I like Venom completely taking over his body. That just didn't look good to me. Only time it looked good was at the end of the film when he was fighting Carnage, but kind of early on in the film when Venom was walking around the crib and they was kind of fighting and bickering and stuff, I was just like, I don't like this. I don't, even when they were fighting, when he threw his TV outside and then he was about to throw the chicken out there. I didn't like that scene, bro. That reminded me of Iron Man 2, where Iron Man, Tony Stark was fighting Rhodey. And they was throwing weights at each other. It was, that I didn't like that. That's exactly what I was thinking about when they was fighting, when going back and forth, and it didn't work for me. I was just like, can we get through this? I'm not feeling it. How'd you feel about that?
I love, that's one of my favorite scenes. To be honest, let me tell you why though, because I think that it had. We talk about the banter that they were going through the whole time, and that, but like it's always been this thing like, well, you made me, or I made you. That whole thing's been going, and it finally got to that boiling point, and that's what we see it. Granted, they bicker like a old couple, but that's kind of what their relationship is. Like they just go back and forth and argue with it, like an old married couple. They bicker and go back and forth, and then when we get to, they finally come to blows. I actually enjoyed the fight because I'm just like, what are y'all doing? Y'all need each other, and like they're just going back and forth. He's throwing punches. Like even when Venom broke his nose, he broke his nose, healed his nose, then broke it again. I thought that was just like hilarious. The TV, I knew the TV was gonna go. I would have threw the chicken. That's just me though. Whatever the two chickens named, they would have had to go. I just thought it was just like funny, and I think it kind of fit with what they do, because I think back to like the first one, like the scene in the restaurant where like he was eating the lobsters and stuff. It's just like, yeah, those two get crazy and get very, very animated. And so it didn't really like defer from anything that I've seen before. And plus I still like when like people finally get those emotions out,
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, and like I was saying, I was feeling them in the very beginning, but like you was talking about the lobsters in the first movie, it was silly, it was goofy, and that's cool to a degree. You know, if sometimes you got to dial it back, and I think they dialed it up in this film right here, and that just kind of while I was feeling it at first, their banter, them going back and forth, it just got a little bit too goofy and silly for me. You know, I'm just like, man, I love Spider-Man, and I'm not a Venom expert, and I learned majority of my Spider-Man lore from the '90s animated cartoon. I love it, and when they had Venom pop up, yeah, they had the voice down in these movies, but I just don't remember him being that goofy. You know, I mean, I shouldn't be laughing at Venom. I should be slightly afraid of Venom and then terrified of Carnage. You know, I mean, okay, you feed Venom and then he's your best friend. I mean, you know, he was just a bit too goofy and silly for me. And I'm just like, man, y'all need to kind of chill out on this just a little bit. You know, it's kind of, and I'm a silly, goofy, corny person myself. And I love to laugh more than the next person or the last person or all people. But this right here, man, that was that was the thing that just kind of sent me over. That was just kind of making me clock out the film, and I don't know, it just a bit too goofy, a bit too silly. I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it.
You know what? I completely understand that sentiment because I'm dealing with the same thing for like another show that I'm watching where like it's one of my characters I'm very much familiar with, and then they kind of like switching them up. So having that perspective on Venom, I get it. Like, but I'm more of a Spider-Man fan. I've never just been too into Venom, but I do know, like, when you think about Venom, you think about all the dark, cool version of Spider-Man. This one is like he's goofy. That's straight up what he is. But I think that's because the lack of Spider-Man, they needed that goofy element in it. So if you can't have Venom being super cool and just like, you know, this badass character, and then have Carnage come through, because that's essentially what Carnage is, you know. So I think that was like a choice that they made. It's like, okay, we're gonna have to differentiate between the two. We're gonna have to, like, granted, I understand they probably could have pulled back on some of the comedy a little bit, but I think it worked. I think it ultimately works for especially once we get both of them on screen.
Now, something I want to stay on Venom real quick. Something that's like what I'm talking about. I don't know how I feel about Venom popping up at a Halloween costume party with neon glow sticks on. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm like, come on, bro. Like, I'm like, really? Like, it just nice costume, yeah. And then he started venting like it was a therapy session. I'm like, I don't know, bro. It was the costume party thing, and it was something else that's slipping my mind right now, bro. But I was just like, this ain't it,
bro. Listen, him him with the neon lights on, I was laughing. I'm like, bro, what y'all looking like? Everybody in there must be off a bean or something, because I'm like, y'all don't realize this is not no damn costume. This thing looks real as all I know.
Yeah.
But like a part of that I also noticed something in that scene too, and I don't know if you caught it. You know, like, he's very sensitive to sound, and so there were times, you know, when you like a mic gets too close to like the speaker, you know, you get that high pitch, and that happened a few times, and he didn't react. So I'm just like,
really, I didn't even notice.
I'm just like, I wanted anybody else to understand. Like, it happened like 3 times. I'm like, yeah, they definitely weren't thinking about it. That's when like the comedy went over like everything else that was going on. You know, like something like that is a very high street. Like, even I, like, you know, like squint your eyes when it happens. So I'm like, for somebody like him that's super sensitive to sound, that should have bothered him. So I just like, all right, but okay, cool. They ain't thinking about it.
And remember the part where he started taking over people's bodies, right?
Yeah.
And then he got to the store. He took over Miss Chan's body, and when he started talking to Oz, I'm just I was cringeworthy, bro. I was just like,
you didn't like that?
No, man. I wasn't laughing. I just want to laugh. I mean, I don't know. That's just not what I like. Like, the Venom, I could look, if people in the comments correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm just kind of used to a Venom where he's just about to whoop ass and Spider-Man is escaping, for his life with seconds to spare. And it's like, oh my God, he almost died again. And this dude here is a comedy special, you know?
Yeah.
Excuse me. Now, something that I really did like was how Carnage got his powers from Eddie, from Venom. I did like that. That made sense to me. He was talking to Itch, got him all mad and emotional, and then he pulled him in and bit him. And he was like, whoa, I noticed something here. And, I did like that. I thought that was kind of cool. How you feel about that?
Yeah, I thought that was cool too. Because I think I've seen the origins of Carnage like a couple times. I know that had also happened in the Spider-Man animated series, not the one from the 90s, the one you were talking about. But I was just like, okay, how is he gonna get him? Does he already got a symbiote in him? And then we see when he bite him, and like when like the little shred of Carnage shows up on his fingers and he eats it, I'm just like, okay, this bro, he was a weird individual because he also licked his hand after he smushed that spider. I'm just like, bro, you just doing stuff just for the sake of doing it, bro.
Right, right.
Yeah, I really enjoyed that scene, and I like Venom snapping on him too. I mean, Venom snapping on him, which caused everything, which led to the fight. I enjoyed that.
Yeah, and since you brought up him writing on the letter thing, I will say I did appreciate kind of like the mystery of them trying to solve the puzzle and get the bodies. Him, writing maps and notes and writing in circles on that postcard. That was kind of cool. It just let him know that okay, he's not crazy. He has some intelligence. He's smart. And it just focusing on him. I did like the way they illustrated his backstory with the pencil drawing or the marker drawing and. He's crazy. Killed his mama, through the hair dryer in the bathtub. Pushed his mama down the stairs. I like how they did that. That was pretty creative, and it really did paint a good picture of like where he came from and all that.
Yeah.
So how you feel about that?
Yeah, I like that too. And the reason I think they use animated stuff because this isn't a rated R film. I think if this was a movie was rated R, they probably would have showed him as a kid doing all of those things. They probably would have showed even more of like I know like a film usually and only time you really see like kids truly getting mistreated is when like the film is like rated R and they don't mind showing that violence that the kid is suffering through. But like in this, it's just like, okay, we have to let people know exactly what he did and why he's this terrible person without like, crossing that line from like PG-13 to rated R. But yeah, I thought it was greatly illustrated. And it just lets you know more about Cletus Castle.
Right on. Now something that was dope to me, I did like this was him coming out and being the Carnage. They tried to do the lethal injection. His power started coming out. I love that whole sequence. I will give. I was like, okay, this is pretty good. I like the reveal. He came out wrecking shop on everybody. He had the prisoners cheering and stuff. That was cool. I do think that he was a bit overpowered, but maybe I'm just not a Carnage expert, so y'all correct me if I'm wrong in the comments respectfully, please. But I did like his reveal, him coming out. I was like, damn, he's powerful as hell. He got to get out the way. So how'd you feel about that?
That's another one of my favorite scenes. Like literally once he like walks out and the thing I appreciated the most it's like they got the look just down pat. Like Carnage looks awesome. All the spikes that he had, like the havoc he was causing. Like you wanted him, like his name is Carnage. You want to see that. And like comic book shows and movies do prison break scenes like just fantastic because most of the time they're just done very well. This was another one of those cases. As far as him being OP, I like what are you to do? You can't shoot him, and like other stuff really doesn't work. So I didn't mind that him throwing all the guards up against places. The one guard, like, oh, I got a family. Like he literally like
that was gross.
down. Like it was crazy. I like villains who once they show up, they get stuff done. That's exactly what Carnage gave.
I feel you. Yeah, I will give him that, and the design was dope. I will give you that. But going over to kind of towards the end where he went to go get his girl, talking about played by Naomi Harris, Skreek or whatever the hell her name is. When the helicopters was chasing them and all the cop cars and stuff, and he was using his extended tentacles to like swing up in the air and stuff, and she's in the passenger seat like, whoa, yeah, we're kicking ass. Oh, cringe, bro. Cringe.
Oh,
Yeah, I just and I was just like, Naomi, why don't you accept this? This was worse than Jamie Foxx's Electro.
whoa,
You know,
no.
yes, it was, man. This was a horrible. Yeah, I didn't like it, man. I like her, but this was awful. This was the worst part of the film to me, man.
I can't give you that one, man. I can't. Nah, I like. She had a minuscule role. Jamie Foxx was like basically a lead in that thing, bro. Jamie Foxx had gap teeth, he got powers, his teeth were straight. Like, no, no, I can't let.
So you would choose her performance over his?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, I just wasn't feeling it, bro. But that's cool. That's cool. That's cool. Let me ask you this. So how did you feel about the end of fight scene?
Oh, once again, I think they nailed it for me. I thought it was going to be. I'm not really a big fan of like straight domination fights where like one character is completely like over the other one. And
yeah,
this one it had a balance. Like when they started going at it, like Venom was like getting some good shots. He was slinging Carnage everywhere. Even though you still got Carnage with all these knives, axes, spears that's going through him. So I'm just like, okay, this is really working in every aspect. The people they have to save, Venom. I mean, Carnage, like, hey, talking to Naomi, like, shut up, don't talk, right? Let me handle it, because it was never like, oh well, she does something and it only benefits him. It's like when she did her streak, it's like it bothered both of them. He's like, yo, get out my way. And like you also have this internal conflict between now. Cletus Cassidy is a lunatic, so psychopath.
Yeah,
but that's the one person he cared about. So you have this internal conflict with those two while they're still whooping Venom, and they have Michelle Williams' character capture. That whole thing, and even Dan. Listen, I thought Dan was gonna get stretched. I thought Dan wasn't gonna make it, but like, even Dan showing up, like helping the way he did, I'm like, all right, cool.
Oh yeah. I liked. I was gonna say the cop. Dan was the fiance.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I did like him. He did come through. Through. Usually they kind of make him weak and get abused and beat up like that extra that you know. But he was like he came through with the fire and the gas and all that. I was like, okay, he's useful. You know, I did like him. I'm not gonna lie. But even on that, bro, we got to get back to this, man. Like, why would I don't know, bro? Like, people need closure and stuff sometimes, but like, you're gonna invite your ex-fiance or to just, hey, I'm marrying somebody else, and you just expect him to be like, I'm happy for you, congrats. Like, that's just not realistic to me. And then, like, he didn't even give a bad response. He responded to me in a respectful way, but he was shocked. Like, you can't expect this dude to just to be like, he was just like, oh, really? Wow, okay. And she gonna kind of ring him like, you can't do this, you can't say. I didn't like her for that. I remember liking her so much in the first film, bro. But this one right here, no, I couldn't do it.
There's actually two things I want to mention. That I'm gonna get to that point you just made, but there's something, and this is kind of like helping you out in your argument about Naomi. When she got in that car, bro, she been locked up since '96. You mean to tell me she just got out and automatically knew how to drive like that? She ain't drove in years, bro. That was
I ain't even think about it. It was horrible, man. Awful.
Okay, let me get back to Michelle Williams. I completely agree with you in that, because I'm just like, yo, he not saying anything. Like, he's shocked.
Yeah.
What do you want him to? Do you want him to give you a hug and a kiss and be like, oh, he is still in love with you?
Yeah.
You literally, like, y'all were engaged. This man
he tried. Yeah. It'd be different if he different. If it's like, oh yeah, you're getting married to that asshole. He's not gonna be good for you. I cannot believe it. Oh my god, you gonna live da. He didn't do none of that. He would like. I'm just like I don't. It's just I didn't like that, bro. She just rubbed in his face like I don't know. And it's not like he was a bugaboo. Like he hit him. Can we please be together? He chilling. You know what I'm saying? I was just like you suck, lady. You suck. So but I'm not mad at it. It was short. I know that the cop is gonna come back in some form or fashion. I don't know how. But I mean, it's a fair movie. I didn't hate it. It was cool. I had low expectations. I did like the first one better though. And go ahead with your I mean, is there anything else you want to talk about? I'm not trying to say whatever you want to talk about.
I didn't particularly like the cop because he also was kind of like wasn't just really a likable character. I was like, yo, what is your problem? Like, what I did like the tie-in though, and I wasn't even paying attention that his name was Mulligan until like we got to the end. They re-show the beginning of the film where he shot her and stuff. But like, overall, I'm just like, dude, like you're like you always tripping. You always thinking something going on. Like, just chill out, bro. Like, why are you mad? Are you mad all the time? I kind of wish they would actually permanently kill this character. I think that would have been better for me. Just because I like when the stakes are high because you kill, you ain't got to worry about seeing Naomi Harris anymore. Like she out of there. So
and I like how I like how Corners died too. I like that. Yeah, they choreographed that scene. They ended it in a way that made sense to me, given their powers, abilities, weaknesses, strengths, and just the way it was set up. It was pretty creative, so I got to give them that there. Anything else?
Oh no, man. I think that's about it. I think until we get into this speculation.
Alrighty, well, let's go ahead and get into the speculation. Let's go ahead and talk about this Venom Let There Be Carnage post mid credit scene, whatever. So Venom, they chilling at some beach resort or whatever, and Venom says, your little brain cannot handle 80 million light years of hive something travel of data of going through the multiverse. Let me show you this, let me show you that. And he begins to, and all of a sudden the whole world warps over. And I'm like, what's going on? And we see that he is now in the MCU. We see Peter Parker, Tom Holland. We see this guy, J. Jonah Jameson, on the news. Now these universes have crossed over. I was like, what the hell? OneTakeBigDog. Tell me how you felt about this.
Man, I'm ready to break it down. I'm ready to get to New York. Take me like Venom in New York, Peter Parker. Hey, there's a part of me hoping he pop up in Spider-Man No Way Home. Like I know how you feel, B, about Sony and they Spider-Man stuff. But when it comes to seeing Venom on screen with Spider-Man, I don't care. Like as far as I'm concerned, you can change Eddie Brock's character to that person you want him to be. He can become stoic. He can become hardened or whatever. Like you can still have Peter gonna be the comedy, Venom get a little bit more serious. Man, let's go. That's what I needed, man. I needed this post-credit scene.
Let's not go. Look. All I'm gonna say is it just seems a bit forced. That's all I'm gonna say. It just seems, I could be wrong. It's just, this is not, it could be good. Now everything is lining up. We had Loki, multiverse. We got the trailer for No Way Home. Doctor Strange doing some foul stuff. We already know we got Multiverse of Madness coming in March. So those two, Spider-Man No Way Home and Doctor Strange back to back. But this is just this is not the way I wanted to see Venom and Spider-Man crossover. I wanted an MC, because I'm not thrilled with this Venom here. I wanted MCU proper Venom handled by Kevin Feige and company and friends. I'm just, I mean, we can still probably get there, but I don't know. Sony is just so desperate for this crossover for this that I already has crossed over a number of times successfully, but they got to do this other stuff with this Spider-Verse and Venomverse. It just kind of seems rushed and desperate. You know, they could knock it out the park. It could be seamless. It could be a strong transition, but I can't necessarily sit here and say that I'm excited about it. You know, that's just where I'm at.
Listen,
it could be good. It could be good, but I'm just not excited.
Okay. But I think this was the best way to get it done, especially with all this going in the multiverse, because I think this is how we eventually get the Fantastic Four. This is how we get the X-Men. All those things. I think this, and if this is how we're gonna get Venom over there with Spider-Man, and I like Eddie, you're gonna have Eddie doing what he does, and like probably like some research. Him and Venom investigating, like, who is this person? What do they got? What powers do they, like all of those different things.
It could work. It could work. It's just I wouldn't want to do it like this. You know what I'm saying? Like this whole thing can feel like a story that's just stretched out over a long time, like a whole saga of films. And like the whole, like a phase 1, 2, and 3, the multiverse thing should take over a whole phase to me, or like 20 something films, like the whole multiverse. I just kind of feel like this is rushed, you know, because I'm not excited. I'm not necessarily excited about them. Well, like I'm not too thrilled with the multiverse, even in the MCU, except for the fact that that's a good way to bring in the X-Men. I don't see any other way. Fantastic Four, anybody else, you can just create an origin story for them. But the X-Men, with their history, it's like, where have they been this whole time? So, you know,
I think, but when you're dealing with the multiverse, it's always complicated, and like a lot of stuff is convoluted and everything. But here's my only pushback to that. We know Sony wanted this to happen, and this was the only way it was going to happen. Sony was not going to be like, and like Venom, it was very successful. Like 856 million. And this one, I think the Thursday night numbers were like 11.2. So it looked like, and once again, it's showing every 20 minutes. So they gonna probably make a couple dollars off this too. So this
ain't too many films in theaters right now either. So
yeah, you know. So it's like, and like I said, I think it's gonna get some repeat viewings. So Sony probably like, well, this is our Venom, and it has, because Venom, Tom Hardy's Venom does have a fan base, and I think that's one of the biggest things. It has a fan base, and like he has people who enjoy this version. Granted, it's just gonna be like you can't have both Venom and Spider-Man be funny. So I think ultimately you're gonna have to change something. But I think this was the only way without recasting, and I don't think people would have wanted that. I ain't gonna say people, because I think you would have preferred they recast and like did the storyline different. But even what you're saying, like you don't want them to, like, you think the multiverse should like go across a few phases. I agree with that. But just because we see this doesn't necessarily mean we're about to get a Spider-Man Venom interaction immediately.
That's true. That's
probably the biggest thing. Like, because we got Spider-Man. If Venom's not in No Way Home, we still have a good while before these two could possibly meet up.
Right on. I got you. Well, guys, that's Venom. Let There Be Carnage. This one right here is at a 60%, 85% audience rating. The first one, not so much, but the first one did make a lot of money though. So, you know, we're gonna see. OneTakeBigDog, what would you rate Venom out of a 1 out of 10?
1 out of 10, give me a 7.5.
7.5. Okay, I feel you. I'm gonna give it a 6 out of 10, and that's passing. Anything under a 6 is failing, and you know that's so it passed. So I give it a 6 out of 10. OneTakeBigDog gives it a 7.5. That's what's up. We both liked the film. He liked it a bit more than me. I like the first one better, but all things are subjective. Guys, you let us know what you thought about the film, what you liked, what you did not like, what you rated out of 10, whether you agree with us or you disagree with us. Please let us know down in the description not in the description box, but the comment box below. And before we head out of here, one take, what do you have going on your channel, sir?
Man, I worked a lot this week, so I'm behind. I got a few different reviews for episode 6, Doom Patrol, Titan, Stargirl, and I have my Venom review that I'm probably gonna shoot right after this. So all 5 of those videos probably be up tomorrow or Saturday. I don't know when this video going over there. Probably I'll be up Saturday.
This video will be up tonight before I go to bed. I'll try to get it up before midnight or whatever. And so me myself, I just have a show coming this Sunday. My videos are going to be kind of slow over the next week or two because I'm trying to learn new programs and stuff. But right now, it's just going to be live shows Wednesdays and Sundays and trailer reactions right now. Yeah, and I'll keep the rest close to my chest. But OneTakeBigDog, man, like always, I appreciate you being here, my brother.
Yeah, I appreciate you for having me.
Oh, yeah. Thank you. Thank you so much. I do appreciate it. Well, guys, we are going to head out of here. And I want to thank you so much for tuning in. We really, 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 really do appreciate it. Again, you can follow me and OneTakeBigDog on social media. Our handles are on the screen. You can also look his information up in the description box of this video. And you can also head over to my channel tab right here. And you know, you're going to get the whole fam right there. But subscribe to his channel. Show this brother some love. Let's get him to not just 4,000 subscribers, but 5,000 subscribers. Let's help him hit that milestone. Help me get to 35K. But guys, again, and let us know what you thought about this movie and also our commentary. But guys, again, I want to thank you all so much for tuning in. And before you go, don't forget, I'm B. Avery, and that's OneTakeBigDog. And I'm B. Avery, that's OneTakeBigDog, and that's just our opinion. Thanks again, and we'll see you next time. Peace out.